was 10.
10. Oh,
Or 10 potential. I don't know. I don't know anything.
not.
My memory is terrible.
yeah.
All right.
I think we're ready to call this meeting to order today for the Historical Commission, our August 15th, 2025 meeting. And we can start with preliminary matters, and I will pass it over to JG for the roll call.
Larry Dorsey,
Present.
don't have Karen Dalton Billette,
Present.
Mary Cartwright,
Here.
no, Aaron Wojcicki, Scott Phillips,
Here.
Maureen Hogue,
Yeah.
Jill Roberts,
Here.
Susan Stanish. Here. And we do not have council representation today.
All right, thank you very much. With that, we can move on to public comment.
Approval of agenda.
Oh, approval of the agenda, apologies, already jumping ahead. Do I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Wonderful. All those in favor of the agenda, please say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda passes. Next, we will move on to public comment. Anyone in the room, public comment? Seeing none, anyone online?
Nothing online.
All right, we can now move on ahead to general updates and debriefing. And within updates, correspondence completed and required.
Right. Just a few this week, not so many with, I'm not sure there were any with donations. But, I did send one to Mayor Clint, thanking him just for the link to the oral history and just letting him know we appreciated him really, basically. He was a great support. And then I sent one to Ranger Fari. Okay. For helping with the fire engine and organizing the youth to help do the prep work on the privy. And then one to both, Lion Bob, as we call him, but I put Dear Mr. Stores. To both Robert Stores and Stokes Anderson for of the Lions Clubs for the bench and the trees at this point.
Fantastic, thank you. And any more outstanding ones? I think we're caught up then. None come to mind for me. At
Did you
least.
do anything on the desk?
Yeah, no, I haven't yet, so I need to do on teacher's desk
The additional student desk.
to get, and then we'll need to do one to the Weckers for what we picked up the other day.
Yeah.
I'll need to get their address if you got it, Larry.
I could have it.
Perfect. All right, next agenda item then is Marshall Fire Remembrance. We have a meeting coming up on Monday, which I'm sure is going to be a productive one. JG, any updates on the number of RFQs that we've received?
We only got 2.
Okay,
And I did send out with the calendar invite, so I know you have a busy weekend. Maybe on Monday.
yeah,
So there were only 2 submissions, which was a little surprising. But it's also a very complex project and it's not funded.
mhm,
It was clear in the RFQ that the town was seeking preliminary qualifications and preliminary sort of general design concepts so that we could fundraise. But I think that could have been a factor, you know, that there wasn't already an established budget, but it was outlined that we would be fundraising, so. We'll see, so I think the group will probably review
Mhm.
and then make a decision if they want to pursue another level of
Yeah.
attempt or something, yeah.
absolutely. Thank you very much, JG. Next is the RFI log and mass media list.
Today I would like your information from Dottie Baxter. Can you be more specific? What Dottie wanted to know and how you helped her findings, then I'll put it in the home.
Yeah, I got her email on that, so I will reply that. It's pretty much what I told her, so I'll try to make it more specific.
Well, for example, you said she had family here and with property. Would it be like where the foxes and pigs used to live in the property they held? Who was her family? I don't recognize the name, Dexter.
Oh, yeah, they were, we talked to her as well. She came from both Autry and Hague.
Oh, Dottie,
Yeah,
okay, she called herself Dot with me, so
Oh.
I didn't
Hmm.
realize who you were talking about.
I hope it's the right thing to do, put it in there because she,
Let's see.
in the RFP.
Well, if you could write that down in an email and send it to me, that would help. I didn't know if you referred her to Carnegie or another library
Actually,
or
she,
the county for their property record.
it's an interesting situation. Every year she pays like $7. Huh?
$3.
Oh, $3, okay, even less than I thought. And mineral to the county for mineral rights
Hmm.
on a piece of property that's under community park.
That's right. That's where it's at.
Yeah,
And that's the property. She has the information on that property. Larry, you were going to help her with the patent record for one of the homesteads. She thought,
me?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought, yes, she's gonna follow up on that. She's from Kansas City, she has family in Denver Metro, so
Right.
she's gonna come back.
She'd been living for a lot of her life, it sounded like, in Pennsylvania on the East Coast.
That's interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Wonder if Maureen has property under community park.
Mineral rights is not property.
No,
It's not real property.
So I think then we can move on to Donors Line Club and recent donations. And we have a couple of good recent donations too.
Okay, a donation, this is just a wonder, I was about to get rid of this book and share it with someone else. And saw this picture of the May DF,
Mm.
which only those of us with very gray hair remember.
I
But-
remember.
I used to get to go back to school
But
shopping
we've
there.
got the little handkerchief box,
Go down.
we've got the handkerchief box that says May DF.
Mhm.
That's what here.
Yeah,
So I wondered if this would be worth scanning and keeping with the handkerchief box or
I
something.
think it brings context since it's not.
I'm talking about the downtown meeting
Yeah.
without pay.
16.
Yeah, and there's an architect on that. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
I worked downtown, but.
Is it May DNF or DNF on
It
the
was May
box?
DNF.
On the box, no, but it was Daniels and Fisher before that.
Yeah.
The box May DNF or Daniels
The
and Fisher?
box says May DF.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So the credit card that I've got to bring in is Daniels and Fisher.
well, that's it.
Oh, is it really?
Uh-huh,
That's
Or.
uh-huh,
You still have them?
uh-huh. It was my, yeah, and it's this big. And it looks like a dog tag, only the thing curls under and the piece of paper slides in.
Oh.
Let's see that.
Yeah,
That's a bit.
yeah,
What?
but
Working in retail 20 years ago,
Yeah.
just say, that you put that metal piece on the
yeah,
machine.
it's the size of like a dog tag,
You
yeah.
put that on it, and then you put you see the sales slip on it, you
But-
stamped it down.
Yeah,
Was that
Yeah.
before this?
uh-huh, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Like a stapler,
Oh.
and the
Yeah.
metal piece went on it.
Like you would do on a letter press. now.
Right.
Oh.
They
And
would
then
sell
it
with that, yeah.
It would be probably a 2 or 3 page receipt, one for the
Mhm.
store to keep, one for the customer, and then like you would a
Yeah.
stapler. You
Yeah.
press it down and it would imprint
The credit card.
But
And
that's kind of an example of a transitional piece of equipment,
Yeah.
because before the old embossers were all stamp
Mhm.
Yeah.
ran, so
Yeah.
you do a seal or an
Oh,
emboss.
roller thing that,
But, you know, the roller thing was later, yeah.
I thought it was the handle.
Yeah, this was the handle.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But the long answer to that is I think it gives context.
Yeah,
Good idea.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to borrow this book, it's sort of like Denver from.
Fiedler, John
Post-war, I
Fiedler?
think it says, but there's a big picture of Eisenhower and there's things like the Red Ward scandal and. There's all sorts of fun things.
I remember they had that ice skating rink there too.
Yeah.
What's the store?
I skated on there.
Did you?
So if anyone wants to borrow the book, please feel free.
A little trip down memory lane there.
Mhm.
Well, Wednesday, Wally and Mary and I met with Chris Wecker. This is Helen Warrenberg's daughter. So they've sold the Helen Warrenberg's house there in that open space on Cherry Street in Louisville. And they found a few more things. And so we just took everything, sorted through it. Maybe not keep it, if it doesn't fit, but otherwise, some interesting tidbits. So only about, what, 6, 7 things, I think, so.
And I have a question on that. There was one thing we had no idea what it was. So I took a photograph, but I don't know how to take a photograph and say, what is this to Google?
Oh.
And so I thought.
Send me a photograph.
All of
Yeah.
you.
Well, and when Google can't get it, my
You're
mother has been the one who's come through on these, and then we Google it.
Are we talking about the
Seriously.
rim
All
folder?
the things we don't know what they are, we send
That
them.
was funny things that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
so you text me the picture,
okay,
then I'll take care of it,
okay.
and then I'll teach you.
Yeah.
okay, that's.
Once we get to the hang of it, it's great.
Mhm.
Right.
School.
She's like, dang it, I was just gonna hand it off.
Right, and anything else under Downers Lions Club and recent donations?
Nothing from Gene?
The trees are still looking wonderful.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
So excited about it. Scott, you had mentioned a group photo every year, perhaps with the trees. Should we organize a group photo?
Yeah, at the tree at the bench.
So maybe we had talked about when set like a plaque or something, so maybe we could do it then and then maybe every fall.
Trees are lovely in the fall.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But we could maybe do our first one when we create a celebratory event for the trees.
yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. Jean, what did I get with you? We can maybe start planning
That's a spring.
a day that would work for the Lions to come out. Okay,
Mm.
and then we'll rally
Yeah, that would-
this
that'd be really
group and
Yeah,
just whoever else.
Good idea.
I was gonna wait because both historic and the CAPS advisory group are working on kind of a plaques system with QR codes.
Yeah.
And I was gonna maybe potentially use that same one, but I think that project is taking longer, so I might just do something separate. So I think I'll just work with you on that. And then also a date,
Okay.
some possible
Sounds
dates. Okay. So that'll be an event plus a group photo.
be perfect.
I won't be available, but. Whatever it is.
Alright, whatever day.
We can't do it then, huh?
No.
If you don't show Photoshop,
Yeah.
you're there either way.
We will. Cause I have Photoshop. You have Photoshop? Yes, you will. Inspire.
And then we'll teach Mary how to do it.
There.
I don't have a Photoshop.
You can just find some random Muppet image.
Oh, I have pictures of you.
Alright, next we can move on to then debriefing. So the August 2nd Open Museum Day, I know unfortunately I was out of town, so unable to attend, but would love to know how everything went.
It's a long time ago. I don't remember.
Well, we had Grasso's Frank's great grandson, John's grandson,
Oh,
stopped by
Mm,
the bungalow.
Who? Great grandson?
Frank's great grandson,
Wow.
John's grandson. Yeah, came by, maybe stayed 5 minutes. But has some health things, so apparently it's very hard to get down here. He lives in Lyons or Longmont.
Oh,
And then get out of the car once he's here. But when they come down to this area, they at least drive by. So I did not get him to sign the book. We were so busy
Or get a photo.
asking questions, yeah, so. But he was very nice. He was talking about the first time he came in the house. And apparently it was, full of stuff, like overflowing with stuff.
yeah.
That's his memory from when he was like 6.
Great.
So that's what he was telling us about.
Well, I missed that.
Yeah, it was probably half hour after you left, yeah.
Mhm.
And then we have Dobby, as we said, who has such a connection. And but we didn't have a lot of people, but they seemed really interested.
We had like 15, which
Wow.
I thought was.
Grasso?
Mhm.
I'm not sure what
That's
the
great.
total was.
Well, yeah, ASCII has several in addition to the body.
Do we have numbers recorded? On those little slips of paper?
Wally and Karen would have finished up in the afternoon, so I'm sure we do.
Hopefully. Cause well, it's good, I think, State of Superior is coming up and those are numbers I'm gonna wanna pull.
Yeah.
For the year so far.
So we didn't do a count, but it would be, everyone signed in, but the Grasso and his 8. So add 2 to whatever that counts. We look at the guest book,
Whoever is there next, or,
popping in,
yeah, just get that on there, cause I won't remember. I'll probably just swing right in
You'll be focusing on the key,
on the list.
Yeah.
on the infamous key.
Oh,
Yeah.
for next week.
Oh.
I got a question before we leave museums. For the open signs that we put out, do we know exactly how many are at each location? Because I think we had a little confusion last time. We accidentally left one out in Port Mary, ended up dragging it down the street in the hot sun because we forgot. But we just didn't notice that there was another one out there because we'd already brought in like 2, I think.
We brought in 2 and a feather, yeah.
So
2
there,
for Grasso, that's usually all I put out is 2. What do you?
Is
Yeah,
there
same with
4?
us.
So how many are?
one time there were 3 at Brasso because we had that one down on the little
Yeah, but
bump out.
Larry, that
Oh, that's
time,
right.
when we first did the bump out, we had 3 out there, 2
Okay.
above and 1 at the bump out.
Right.
There are only 2 at ASCII right now available, plus the feather.
But there might be 3 and a feather at Grasso.
Yeah.
Or there 2.
See, I thought there was 3 because there was.
I thought
one
there
kind of
was 3
stuck way in the
too,
back that
yeah.
we didn't even
I think
put out.
there's 3 at
I
Grasso.
think there's 3 at
Okay.
Grasso.
Yeah.
So we have an awareness of whoever opens and sets out signs, maybe
Mhm.
says something to the people who are gonna be closing up.
Mhm.
Don't forget, I put them way over there.
Yeah, on the
Good
inside,
idea.
1 of 3,
Yeah,
2
that's
of
not a bad
3,
idea.
3 of 3.
Yeah,
Because I'll forget how many there are.
yeah. Okay,
The only other museum note is that Catherine also accomplished some curation stuff
Yeah.
on August 2nd.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a busy day for the review on the catalog, of photographing thing.
Fantastic. And then, speaking of work, the August 8th work session.
Very productive.
Mhm.
We were there for the whole.
I left 20 minutes
12
early,
o'clock.
yeah. We were focused more on catalog it.
And Catherine moving the auger, she wanted, she loved that auger.
Great,
Mhm.
it needed to happen.
She's been very good to work with.
Yeah, she does.
Again, I want to compliment everybody on these work sessions. We're getting so much done. It's just really reassuring to know that it's getting it's not regular expectation to meet every once a month and actually spend a couple hours there. And so the details are working out real well, I think, in terms of description of the artifacts and things like that. So good going, gang.
Wonderful to hear. All right, so next, Heritage Roundtable and AmFram.
There was no roundtable meeting yesterday. So, I wonder why. Now that I think about
Maybe
it,
they'll.
And the answer is Monday.
and that's
Yeah.
upcoming, yeah.
Yeah, and is Monday, in Blue Ridge. I'm planning to go, Jean Morgan
I think
is,
so.
Jean Morgan is excited to go
Okay.
as well.
She wants-
grew up in Blue Ridge.
Yeah, we'll work rides and meeting adjourns.
Okay,
Purple.
and I'd actually sort of like to drive, even if you drive,
Okay,
because it's my home territory too,
okay,
so.
go explore afterwards.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm looking at the calendar, so this is the third Friday, but yesterday was only the second Thursday, so roundtable will meet next week.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone else want to go there? But maybe now.
I know it's Larry and I were also said we were going. And then you and
Susan?
Jean, and Susan's gonna be.
Yeah, I gotta
Game
check
day.
the information in there about the times.
Yeah.
And see, I'll get back to you.
Yep.
If you don't hear from me, just assume I know.
Right, no news
Worked
is,
out.
no
Yeah,
news is no
news
news.
no news.
Yep,
All right, well, I think now we can move into the work plan check-in, and as far as our main discussion items go. First item is the Superior Historical Commission coloring book updates, with some
Oh.
Indigenous history, because I know this has been brought up, by trustee Howish, actually, about potentially adding some pages in here, at our dinner. So I was wondering, what are kind of the potential next steps that we could do to incorporate that or find an illustrator for this to add some additional content to the coloring book?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you've got the most recent agenda.
Yeah, because you skipped it.
Oh, this was the email I got.
Mary, can you send that down? Yeah.
So
Okay, second grade field
published-
trip then.
and then I published again, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too long after.
Okay.
the second came.
All right, we can go on to second grade field trip. We can jump back into the Indigenous history then.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been in touch with Jennifer Lehman at Superior Elementary, and she has proposed September 25th or 26th, October 2nd or 3rd. As potential field trip days, so
can you say them again?
September 25, 26, October 2 and 3. That's Thursdays and Fridays, I believe. Look at my calendar, so.
I think what might be good is to check with the mayor first.
I sent him an email and never got a reply. So, but
I
that's a
would-
good idea.
Circle back, because I think if he can't do it, I think maybe Mayor Pro Tem Serbu or someone else on council, but
Mm-hmm.
I think if you want the council boardroom as part of the
Yeah, because they have to check
They were
out its
sort of
availability.
beholden to their schedule first.
Okay,
So but maybe if you could circle back and then let this group know, so that this group can check calendars.
sure.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
That process?
Mhm.
Okay.
So those are two alternate dates.
Gene's got a question.
Yeah.
If I can, I'm not here on the 25th, but if any of the other days, I did it with you before, and I
Yeah.
need your help with that.
Okay,
Wonderful.
yes.
And this was Superior, have we heard from Monarch or El Dorado?
Heard from El Dorado earlier and they're thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So September 25th is a Wednesday,
Oh,
It's a Thursday.
and then the 26th is a Thursday,
No, the 25th is a Thursday, the 26th is a Friday.
September?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thursday,
Oh,
Friday.
whoops, wow, how did my calendar jump to 2024?
Yeah,
That is time.
both days are
Did
Thursday.
you wait that machine?
So are these either or dates or both dates potentially?
Either or.
Or
Those are four possibilities from Superior, so it's just.
And they would choose one day.
Choose one.
do we know what time?
No. But usually, it's what, about 10:30, and then they do the routine, then they have their lunch and go back to school. Bring their lunch with them to the park. So, before lunch.
All right, so Larry, you're gonna check with Mayor Lasis again. Let me know if you need help.
Would you like to, check with Mona?
I haven't checked with Monarch. I've been out of the loop for now for quite a few years, so if nobody wants to,
I mean, the kids live right down the street.
it'd be very appropriate.
Something.
And anything from El Dorado?
Just a preliminary. A few weeks ago.
All right. So next we can probably move on to the fire truck in the Louisville parade.
I guess the main question is, do we have permission from the town to take it to the parade?
That's always a interesting question.
Yeah. Cause if it's no big deal to get in it, and all I do is I send an email to the chief and he says, come on down. So. But we can do our usual elaborate, shag car with Karen Walgorski trying to keep up with us. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm available. If the truck's available.
Let me ask. Let me find out more and I'll talk to you.
Okay.
I think the tough part is there's, you know, since it's a holiday, it's Labor Day, right?
Yeah. Well, but I've always driven it mostly,
Yeah.
so. And then Wally, seems like Wally's mentioned maybe the veterans, some of the veterans might like to go on that trip too, so.
And I think,
Just thought of that.
and I think if that happens, like, I think there probably could be preference for staff to be present,
Mhm.
which would be me.
One of
Matt
the-
Rarick is that really the only other, not that I would try, but.
How would you train?
Even for Labor Day. We'll see, let's keep talking.
Okay. Perfect. So next we can move on to the coloring book updates.
Sounds familiar.
So Larry, do you want to lead or do you want me to?
Let you go ahead.
So Larry and I did meet, but kind of as a reminder, I think I showed you the digital version of these, but the public art coloring books are finally printed and done. And, they've not gone out to the public yet. Because I started, and they still might, this is a pause button, but we've talked about this being updated as a companion to these two, sort of under the umbrella of arts and history, and historic, because CAPS didn't really have involvement with these, but historic would with this. So Larry and I kind of had our first meeting and we just started going through and I'm gonna pull up the digital version of the book. Because it seems like the more we talked, the more questions than answers, came up. Whoops. Can't get rid of this couch. So grab my notes. So some of the more basic things that we talked about is what could go, you know, what could the cover look like? We talked about obviously the need to add pages for Indigenous history. And the way this book works, the easiest way to do it would be to add a full sheet, you know, which then creates 4 possible pages. So then we kind of talked about, well, what could those 4 pages be? And we kind of went through a whole handful of ideas. But then we started flipping through the book more and more, and we thought, well, we could change this, we could update that, and like I said, it created more questions than it did answers. for instance, one of my questions, much later in the conversation came with, this sort of starts out on a global level, then a country level, and then gets into sort of regional and then state. And so that's a lot of pages. And I asked Larry, is it our job to educate on that level, or are we focusing more on town history and town history only, or Boulder County and town history, sort of, so you can kind of see where this conversation sort of ebbed and flowed. We know we need an updated map. And this is sort of the tipping point of, we have this map that needs to be updated, but then it jumps right into the Hague settling. So obviously we need something well before that talks about indigenous history. And so we just kind of kept talking and talking, and one of the other topics that we covered is this book focuses a lot on the settlers and coal predominantly. Do we add agriculture? Do we kind of make a more even distribution of information with this history? And if that's the case, that's going to be a lot more overhauling and changing and updating than just a matter of inserting some indigenous history. And I think there's some really great opportunity here. But I think it would probably take more time, more research, more, check-ins every month to kind of see where we're going with this. And then Scott, I would love to sit down with you to kind of talk about your, because the idea is that Larry, Scott and I are gonna this is sort of the subcommittee working group. But just sort of think about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. What content should we have in here, sort of a thing.
And we'll change that trail too, since it's not correct.
Yes.
So I have
You're scary.
I have a first reaction.
And then, so then some of the other things, like one of the, if we keep the concept of coal, we don't really talk about miners. And Larry had done, a wonderful job identifying what some of our miners did at the industrial mine, and I thought, well, that could go in, and so then things kind of kept growing, and that's why we're gonna need some input. And so one thought I had was to sort of compile these notes a little bit better, send an email out to the group, and just get some input, some basic input from all of you, and then work with Scott, and then kind of keep working with Larry, of course. Larry also had a really great idea about changing this out to a kind of a flag page in general that talks about flags, and you talked about flags for all, right? Tell me about your flags idea. I forgot it. Like it's Arapaho, Cheyenne, possibly more.
Oh,
The
yeah.
tribal.
Tribal
Yeah.
flags.
What I had in mind was, the outline of Colorado, and then where the tribes tend to be,
That's gonna
Utes.
be hard.
and that's,
Is
And
it?
I think we need to remember our audience is second graders.
yeah. I think-
My, Jill, you should go first, but my initial impression is this is way too text heavy for a
Yeah.
coloring book. And even if we want to keep text, maybe we should have pictures on standalone pages and text on adjacent pages, or at minimum, but I really love your other coloring books.
I was gonna say, seeing the other ones, this looks very dated,
Way outdated,
and it's more of a workbook than a coloring book.
yes.
Well, and that's.
And I didn't think of it that way till I saw the others, and I'm like, that's that talks to a second grader.
Yeah, and it could be that
Who's probably
this
very
is
check
kind of a workbook still. But maybe the amount of text and history is toned down, and it's just less.
Well,
Less, is that what you're
Yeah,
thinking?
less, and like, I And again, never thought about it till you held up the coloring book. Most second graders have a hard time coloring. Because they're small.
I think you're bringing up, all of you are bringing up a good point, though. Is it a coloring book or is it a workbook?
And I think one thing we might wanna check with is the teachers, cause some of the teachers really use this
As
as
a
part of their
workbook, yeah.
teaching
Yeah,
of the local history.
Mhm.
So maybe they could get a, you know, an input from them.
And they do it before right before the field trip.
Yeah,
Right.
some do, yeah.
right, but if that's the case. This is digitized. You send it to them to print out and use before their field trips. And create a town coloring book that pulls in the rest. Right? Cause we've got this, I mean, this is easy for a teacher to use in the classroom, whether we continue to maintain it in the print format
Mhm.
as it is.
I think one of the things we were wrestling with was how to update it without overdoing it.
Mhm.
Because like that one map that shows Superior map, you know, there's 3 or 4 parks that have been created since that was published, and one of them is right in El Dorado neighborhood, you know, the wildflower one, you know, so it makes sense to update it, but again, not to make it into focused on minutia.
Mhm. I mean, I kind of like the idea of a workbook, but. And coloring it. Um. But also really thinking, you know, like a page like this could probably go.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's cute, but teaching them north, south, east, west is probably not the job of historic
Yeah.
commission.
And if we were going to say. We know we wanna make changes. We know we're all doing a ton of projects. Do we do a couple phases? Right, phase 1 is, well, we can pull out these 4 pages. Right? However, I'm thinking how it goes in,
Yeah.
and you add 2 on the indigenous. And then you just reshift how everything else is.
And then just keep going.
And then have that done for the next print. And continue to keep it in the work plan. And when do we jump into that? Right, I mean, I don't know how you do indigenous, you do national register, I do national register collections and this, and suddenly we all get spread really thin and nothing gets done.
Right.
So can we take a small piece that's attainable and build on it?
Mhm. Absolutely, and I think too, you know, I'm happy to lead on this and do more of the heavy lifting and then just keep working, but to your point, you know, Larry and Scott are very busy as, you know, working group support, as you all are, if I keep, you know, send out questions and things like that. We did recently print a bunch, so we're well covered for this year's second grade field trips. You know, so I think we have time before we print again. And then I do love the idea of a digital version that teachers can print out as they want. I would like this to eventually look sort of like these.
Yeah.
That's very eye-catching.
Thank you.
That's a good job.
I mean, we can do like that,
Amazing.
Mhm.
kind of replicate that instead of the prairie dog, we can do the minor or something.
Yeah,
or-
exactly.
Mhm.
Or a farmer.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause I think that was another thing, Larry, you know, bringing up the agriculture and that there was farming
Mhm.
here before coal mining.
Yeah.
But I even love that, you know, the target miner
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
in it and we could, you know, use that image in here if we wanted to. Or even incorporate that on the front cover or something, but I like the idea of sort of the color in black and white and just the look and feel of this. Okay.
Agreed. It's got a lot more appeal.
Hmm.
I
And
like,
then, the only other thing I was thinking too is, you know, looking at Jade's research
Mhm.
and the Arapaho and Cheyenne, you know, words for certain things. you know, that's a possibility of a page that has, you know, Cheyenne and Arapaho word for grizzly bear, or, you know, kind of have fun with something like that.
Well, tie it in. Horse, cow,
Mm-hmm.
farm, whatever, crop, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
tie it into the agriculture piece.
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea of keeping them local history focused instead of drawing down from national maps and things.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
you have local history themes, including mining, agricultural, building the town, and people. Those four themes could cover everything.
Mhm.
And you might have some time-depth considerations for some of that, or we could just, well, tribal stuff is part of people. But-
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Okay, local history flavor rather than being too broad, and focus it on some essential themes which include indigenous mine history, agriculture history, and then town development history, and have people being kind of an overriding theme of that across things.
My recollection of second grade elementary curriculum is that social studies is kind of like what goes on in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
And so, and I think that's reflected in this, like,
and then under those themes, there's all kinds of things you can do with the actual coloring book images or
Yeah.
worksheet stuff from showing this, like you have the Hague stuff in there. If we did like a coloring of the Hague house, you could say, this is the Hague house. If you wanted to, you could have it. It was here, here's what's there now, right? It's like, it's not there. Anyway, that kind of stuff is broad. A lot of things.
And I thought too, even if we wanted, I know there's, we might not want to do all the indigenous flags on that flag Colorado page, but there's a lot of other Colorado elements we could do for coloring purposes. It's like the state mammal is the bighorn sheep. Could you do just like a head of a bighorn sheep?
Bison, I recommend.
Yeah, just like here are some other animals you'll find here.
Right.
Mhm.
Bison would have been here, bighorn sheep would
Yeah.
have been here.
Yeah. But just something like that to then add some more kind of image.
Elk are actually still here.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
So the other question is historically with the indigenous groups, would that be more Boulder County, kind of this area? And not specific Superior?
No, I think we could, I mean, it's all the same. I mean, Superior is part of all
Mhm.
of that. I mean, we just wanna avoid certain iconography and tribes so that we don't have to get into specific cultural, things of cultural meaning or identity. Some of that, like, no teepees, no head tresses and other stuff, but people on horses and more generic fashion would be fine.
see that wall.
Yeah, but like, you know, having like the biography. Do we need something like?
Well, in the immediate sense, then we have
something
a
like that?
lot of copies of the book
Mhm.
and currently, so like Superior already asked for 80. And so we think we have 300.
Oh,
I'll look, I'll definitely look, cause I know there's a lot at Asti in the basement, and then I have some here.
Yeah. So we
If
can,
not, I can always print a short run.
so if we don't need, if we're not gonna try to get anything on this done between now and field trip days, then
that gives us more time.
yeah, it's no time.
Okay. I mean, this is a good start. I
Mhm.
think it is gonna be a longer project. I like the idea of doing some temporary.
Yeah.
Things and.
A goal for the next run, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
next July, and then.
Maybe we can have like a priority list, like this is what we really need to
Need
have,
to
like
cover,
in
yeah.
the next printing, and then here are the things, I think like. Town map needs to be like updated, and I think we already have like an
Yeah,
image.
and I think it's easy to pull one page.
Yeah.
Four sheets, one sheet, 4 pages,
Well,
out and feed in.
yeah, and I do like what you did with the town map on the other coloring books, is you put locations of things on the back.
Yeah.
And historical locations might be.
So the way this one works is there's color images of the real public art and it's numbered. And then the numbers correlate with the map on the back.
That's really nice.
And then each image that's been converted has it yet again.
Hmm.
So like if there was a section or something about, Grasso or the industrial mine or any of that, yeah, we could definitely do that.
Yeah, it's a great concept, even if we just stole it. And for historic stuff. You can go to this site, you can read the interpretive sign there, like, this is. The Autry stuff, right off through park, read this historic sign and have the coloring book of what the historic house or homestead looks like.
I think it's gotta keep in mind too, what Jill mentioned about the size of the image, so they can't get their little Crayola tips in there or something, but, and then maybe bringing in the teachers and saying, what's weak and what should we add to this?
Just throwing this out there as well, so because, this concept started out with kind of just a general coloring book geared more for younger. Then the advanced one came, that, any age could do it, but another thought would be that we do 2 books as well and do one that sort of has that social studies, sort of second grade field trip in mind, but then potentially do another companion book with a slightly different
That could be more like a workbook.
Yeah,
or something,
Yeah.
but then I'm also thinking about the QR codes
Yeah.
and,
yeah,
really kind of use it to our advantage if there's some information and there's a QR code, like it correlates with everything that we're.
Yeah.
That could be the advanced placement coloring book.
Yeah. History 101 and history.
Yes,
There you go, yeah.
so anyway, just a
Yeah.
thought, but thank you.
Success.
No, I like this. Thank you so much. I think we're moving in the right direction. It's fantastic to kind of see this. It'll be a lengthy project, but I think a very good one.
Mhm.
All right, so next is completion of fall program planning. Seems like basically everything is in place right now. We haven't gotten formal invoice, for the payment, but we voted at our last meeting to approve the payment. All the figures line up with what we were anticipating and have budgeted for, so should be good there. And they know like it's gonna be at the community center. Hours have been confirmed as well for the healing bus to arrive first and be here a couple of hours, and then we'll have the actual presentation itself from Right Relations Boulder.
And I saw a sneak peek of Hello Superior and there's a really beautiful and full page for
Fantastic.
the fall program. It's really gorgeous.
So then the facilities manager knows we're gonna have a parking a truck out there and, or a bus.
Not all
out
the details yet, but I'm
there.
on.
And we got the room secured and everything.
We have the room secured, yes.
So where do you picture having the bus?
Whenever we do anything like that, we will always do it just off of the patio area. Because it's easier to block off the parking lot,
Okay.
from those 2 sides. And then that way people can sit at the patio, go in and out of the bus
Right.
and whatever, and, yeah.
Does Right Relationship, or should we create some kind of banner or something to flag the people as they drive by in Fulton, that it's here and happening?
That's a really great idea. Maybe we could borrow a sandwich board or 2 from the museums to put out.
And Right Relationship might,
I can see if they have any sort of like signage that they do too. Yeah.
But I like the idea because
Yeah.
our sandwich boards are really big and I could have
Mhm.
a couple of boards printed up.
Well, all the time the town puts, notifications like that on a sign down at Colton and the castle too.
They do, but I think having it like at the entrance, like turn here. Kind of a thing, is that what you were
Well, yeah, just what. To get five people's
Yeah,
attention.
this stuff goes on the marquee at town hall, right?
And it'll go on the screens here and all the normal places, but I do like the idea of something out on the sidewalk, you know, so people
Yeah.
know to turn in and it's here. They may not be able to see it from the street.
Yes,
Okay, and I'll reach out if they have any sort of like specific signage, that they might wanna bring or utilize too. All right, and we touched a little bit on this, already, but collection management update.
Well, before we move on from regulations, when do we want to make a decision about donation level? For that,
Yeah, so they have asked, they haven't said a specific amount, but they're open to any sort of donation for regulations and breathing healing bus. So
Inspirational.
yeah, I kind of like that. So we can, I think maybe at like the next meeting, discuss the potential figure and have a vote on
yeah,
that.
let's put it on the agenda.
Yeah,
and
Um,
would the town be all right with us having, or with them having a donation box there for people who visit to drop in $1 or $5 or 20 or whatever?
Quick reminder of what the date,
October.
October
16th.
let me double check.
Their bus might already just come with a donation box.
I was gonna say, we may have to ask forgiveness, not permission. on that
Yeah.
one.
Exactly, I don't see any problem with it.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, 15.
15th.
15th?
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay,
think
I actually have it on there. I was surprised.
as a group, I think it would be good for us to all.
Yeah, my recommendation for the donation is it's at least commensurate with what we've done for other
Mhm.
local speakers.
Yeah,
It's usually been $50, I think.
Yeah.
Enough for this group or not.
yeah, I'm wondering.
That's all we've done is 50.
Yeah, that's where, I remember that figure came up in the past as 15, I was like,
That still doesn't seem like enough to me.
yeah.
Yeah, CAPS does 200 for their guest speakers.
Extravagant.
You'll have the budget, so we know how much is
Next
left by
month will
next
be your
month.
budget report, so that'll probably
Yeah.
tie
So
in
we
well.
can figure,
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'll also reach out to them and I'll ask about not only flags or signage, but just a donation box, if they have one or if they want us to bring ours.
The other thing I'm thinking of too, now that I'm thinking more, is we have 2 tall posts right out in the kind of the grass area along the sidewalk, right in front of
Oh.
the building. And we had flags or
Oh, yeah,
something,
like banner.
things, so
Yeah.
it may not need a sandwich board, we might be able to make something that fits there.
Mhm.
And then a flag can either be put on top or
Yeah.
anything.
Okay,
Might be fun to, see what they have, if they have a
Yeah.
feather flag or anything like that.
perfect. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so all good there?
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So now collection management updates.
You guys
Plugging
are
along.
rocking and rolling.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
I think we probably need one more session to finish out the first 50, right? We were gonna finish the first
Are you ready
50,
for me to,
and then we'll be ready for you to
not
expand.
yet though?
Not yet.
Expand license. The thing we do need is the scanned donation forms, so we've got the Google Drive you set up for us. We can get the scan of the donation forms, put that Google Drive so we can use them. Cause there's some things we
You want me
need
to
to,
send them or just?
you can send it to me, that's fine, and I'll load it, that's totally fine, get it how we need it. So
Did you ever connect with another museum?
no one ever answered,
Oh.
so I figured I might ask around at Anfram on Monday. So, go for
Figuring it out.
we're actually, I think,
You guys are.
Yeah.
On it.
So, I mean, right now, I would say we want as pervasive as license as possible. Because we're finding the pictures, because of attaching the donation form scans, because of,
So by a scan, you want one to put on the hard drive at the computer at the.
no, not on the hard drive, we
We
want it on the
scan-
catalog it.
So all the donation forms that Karen keeps in the binder,
Mhm.
Catherine scanned,
Oh,
I have them just in my regular archive.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna go over
They're gonna
to-
go, so
in the
each-
catalog. it?
each entry, it will be on catalog it, so it's not. And then the file will be on we have a Google Drive,
okay.
so heaven forbid, I'm not gonna say fire or flood, let's say coffee gets spilled on the binder. It's restorable, but it also ties to the,
Okay, you're talking about filled out donations.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yes.
thought you were talking about blank.
Complete.
No, no, but when they're
The image of the
complete,
actual
Uh-huh.
form,
so,
Got
like a
it.
picture of the form.
Great.
Since there tends to be a lot of notes and stories and,
that are on there, so instead of rewriting all of them, we just put the image with it.
Good idea.
And then pull key things, because we've started using the search feature and filtering features when we're working with it. So being able to search off of something and go, wait, we had someone here, and so we'll put some keywords in from that, but not have to re-key everything. Is what we're gonna tie in with that, so.
and then I think, again, once the membership is up, I would love that.
Yeah.
Question to catalog it of how we link our website
Yes,
to the database, so we can have a section that says, check out our collection, and
Mhm.
people just click and it
Yeah.
goes right to it.
right to it.
Is it, and it's accessible to everybody?
It's viewable, it's not editable.
Okay,
It's a different access.
you only,
Yeah, so basically the view only is public as a town record, so to speak, I mean, say town record in air quotes. But the editing feature is limited to commission members. Yeah,
Perfect. And Karen?
Okay, outside of the stuff that I think you got from Weckers the other day, everything has been added to the inventory list and everything has a number or a letter, or a number and a letter. What I would request is if not everything has been tagged yet. And if you take something out of the basement that hasn't been tagged and display it somewhere, please contact me or look up the number and put a tag on it, because otherwise we're losing track of what's on display
yeah,
that it wasn't tagged yet.
and we've been adding a bunch of tags.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be a little more specific on the numbers on some of these items. Because it's hard to tell what's what,
Yeah, so it's.
but if it's
some of the
been tagged
descriptions.
and we know who donated it, then it helps.
Yeah. And
Okay,
we've been able to do some process of elimination, right? Like we had the coal bucket, which coal bucket is which? And we were able to decipher it and figure it out. We've had some interesting finds. We now know that calling it Victrola is like asking for a Kleenex.
okay, I think that Mary and I might be able to help you.
No, we fixed it. We got it.
Oh,
So, but it was things
Okay.
like that, like it was listed as a Victrola. And it's actually a Columbia, but in Googling it, we learned people used Victrola
That's a brand name.
as a
Yeah.
brand, but like when you ask for a Kleenex instead of a tissue.
Yeah.
So,
Graphenola,
it's a, yes,
made by Columbia.
yes, it's a Columbia Graphenola.
Victor was named after Victor, someone.
Uh-huh.
Another question way down the road would be, do you consider the farm equipment as part of the collection at Rathco, and should it go in catalog it?
Yes,
Yes.
so things like our pictures ultimately go in.
So are these in?
They're not, but if they are based on that, yeah, they should go in because they're tied to the rest of it. And they have a means, you don't call it an artifact, you call it, there's categories for it. So right now, what we're doing falls under, like if it's a hierarchy, it's artifact, and then you would go down. Cause we go artifact, mining, tool, metal, and there's this, that goes back to the search feature. So this goes into a different category within there, but not an artifact.
And so if the equipment at Grasso goes in,
Mhm.
do we know where it came from? Do we have that history?
What are those things
I
that
think
we
so,
mentioned?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think between
Yeah.
Wally and myself, we could
yeah, and
put
some
it
of it,
sent here,
well, yeah, but some of the things like the Jim
which is
Listoka,
dangerous.
we've actually credited, so in the description,
Mhm.
we've taken his words and said, written by Jim Listoka,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Son
we
of,
could do that with, you know,
uh-huh,
and then,
because then we know it's anecdotal.
do we so I'm just thinking all of the things.
Mhm,
So the farming, the equipment at Grasso, the truck,
mhm,
fire truck.
Put a label on it.
yeah.
Yeah. Then it flies in the.
We'll get a flag.
Yeah.
His little
Anyway, I'm just.
jeweler's tag on the fire truck.
Yes,
All of
Hey,
that.
On the review here.
yeah.
then-
As a
And then the
deal.
last thing on my mind are.
We've already got the
line
pine,
carts,
we already
the
got
one
a
at town hall.
deodorizer hanging
Okay,
there.
great.
But yeah, I mean, again, they might come as a different category
Mhm.
than artifact. And I don't, we saw them the first day and talked about this, but it's, yeah.
Perfect.
So everything that is the first 50, so two things have happened, the first 50 in Grasso. Aside from the key issue, in the bungalow are all in catalog with pictures. And then we took the other items that were there. And we listed where they were displayed on the Google Drive so that we can then start pushing it all together. So it's
You
chipping
guys are
away,
just knocking it out of the park.
chipping away, eating the elephant.
You know, it might be a good idea to do those agriculture pieces in Grasso Park sooner than later.
Yeah,
Yeah, before it's.
well, I was suggesting on the second grade field trip day, we go 30 minutes early or stay 30 minutes late. And do the stuff in the barn.
Mm.
And we could just add that there.
Good idea.
And because we're there, everything's open, we've done rodent and pest control in advance of it, right? So.
Update to come.
But we were all like, we could go in the barn, but it's peak wasp season, so we all chickened out. But it's like that day, it would already be taken care of, so let's do it. Come 30 minutes early and do it, stay 30 minutes late, whatever it may be. So, yes, plan to be at Grasso that.
That's you too, Wally.
Yeah, good idea.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's excellent updates. And speaking of updates, volunteer update. So as far as like Jade goes for interning, she's working away on finishing up the rest of the alphabet for gathering all the names that can potentially be used for trail names for OSAC and also for our own internal future purposes too. So she is working diligently away there. She has also expressed an interest in if we get into contact with History Colorado, with any sort of indigenous, maybe temporary exhibits, she'd like to be involved with that.
I would like to just request that as part of our membership with that working group, that if she is wanting to help us with that, that we just have her reach out to that group and find out what existing Native American, basically survey, find out what's available and collect information for us and come back to us with information on those.
That's a good idea, since it's her idea, her desire, like let her do.
Well, this
the-
was on my list of things for her to begin with, so
Yeah.
we can just turn her loose on it, we don't have
Yeah.
to like set up extra hurdles and other things.
That sounds great.
And if it generates more questions, I mean, I will say, she did an excellent job on the lexicon list for tribes. The only thing that's missing there that I want to know the sources, we need to reference the sources those came from, so hopefully like all the Cheyenne words she got from one source and just could say that, but if they came from multiple sources, we need to know what the
Yeah.
different sources are and be able to attribute those. The rest of that I'll wait for the working group topic next.
Is she doing getting service hours for this?
I don't know,
Okay, she hasn't asked us to say.
do we know how much longer we'll have her?
Yes, is she able to continue through her senior year?
Yeah, she should be able to. She, in email, she's expressed an interest. She doesn't need internship hours or service hours or sign off on that. She's not doing it for credit. It's kind of for her own edification and interest. I mean, I'm sure she's putting this on resumes and whatnot, which is more than okay. And definitely encouraged, I'd say.
Exactly.
But yeah, she's expressed an interest in working at least for the foreseeable future. But I can definitely reach out, once she kind of finishes or gets closer, we can ask about the sources. I'm making sure to do that.
Well, we may want to remind her now so that she doesn't move on to a tribe that has more than one source and it becomes harder to track
Okay.
which they came from. That was one of the requests when I sent her the original information.
Mhm.
It might just not show up in the Google
Yeah.
Google form. She may already be doing it.
Mm.
The other thing, more related to the next topic, but maybe for another task for her, once we get a trails list together, is we're going to need to work on a system to change it from linguistics spelling to phonetic spellings, and we'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
How soon is OSAC wanting?
We don't know.
Yeah, they have like not put in any rush on this. Cause I've asked them a couple of times about like any sort of deadline or due date with this and they've kind of demurred. And I'm like, okay, we'll just continue working away on this, but they're well aware that we have an ample number of at least verbiage that we can use moving forward. But I can reach out to Jade. Who would be the best contact for History Colorado, just to?
What's that group you joined? We need to reach out to them and like contact there.
I'll send it to you, Dalton.
Okay, thank you.
I've actually met her twice now and I don't remember names.
Okay, perfect.
I'm surprised they don't call Dalton Dillon more.
I've had that happen way more times than
I get
people
called
don't.
Steve an inordinate amount of times. What's the first name, S name? Steve. Yeah.
I get Julia.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Mhm.
So I'll follow up with Jade on those, items. I mean, she's been doing a excellent job, I'd say so far. And then, Nancy Thomas, who I believe came in when the Wallagourseys were at the museum. She emailed me afterwards and she said she had a fantastic time and wants to continue working as a docent. And I'd love to hear kind of what you all thought too.
Yeah, she helped out with the museum opening that day and she enjoyed it. I think we gave her mostly a rundown of what was in there until somebody came in and then we got interrupted, but I think she enjoyed it. She was very interested in what we had in there.
Yeah, she fits in quite well.
Yeah,
Well, she should probably get a copy of Law Superior then too.
And the coloring book.
Huh?
And the coloring workbook.
Yeah.
And the folk history.
She has also expressed an interest in potentially coming to a work group meeting, but she just doesn't know schedules yet. But she'd love to continue working as a docent.
Does she know what work group she'd be interested in since they're?
The work session,
Oh,
yeah, coming in for a work session.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it for volunteer updates. Next QR code and partnership, I reached out to Andrew for CAPS. I haven't gotten a response back. But we're meeting on Monday, so I'll chat with him a bit more there. It does look like I think we're narrowing down on a design and then I can hopefully present that to you all at the next meeting. So made like very good progress. It was kind of like a fine balancing act on potentially amount of detail and information to have on there, especially I think for us in the historical would probably want more information than less on these specific plaques. So hopefully in the next meeting, I'll be able to show you like kind of a design concept.
Perfect. And those are budgeted for this year in mind, so. I think if we just keep that in mind,
Yeah.
we've got plenty of time still, but.
And then next is assistance to OSAC with trail naming project. We touched a little bit on this, but as far as kind of creating a work group, I think it will be good because Jade has done such a tremendous amount of work with so many different names. OSAC has kind of indicated they probably just want a dozen or so. So we'll definitely need to create a work group just to kind of.
Do we want a joint working group or just to give them a working size list?
I think I was imagining probably just us, and then we can give them a list, and then if they decide they want like more feedback or input, we can let them know and potentially go from there if they want to have someone else from their group join.
I would like to continue to be part of that working group, and my suggestions are that we try to definitely focus on words that are less likely to be misconstrued or represent multiple concepts or things, so that we can focus on common themes across different tribes, like finding a word for bison or coyote or things like that that aren't abstract.
Yeah.
And not verbs. And Jade had indicated that the Cheyenne language in particular could pose some challenges even in that. But that's what they work with. And then for getting pronounceable versions, all of those linguistic spellings are based on phonemes, and we probably, instead of just trying to find out how they sound and spell them out, we need to find some official English pronunciation, standard English alphabetic phonemes and replace the linguistic spellings, and it might be an effort, but we might want to wait a little bit that narrowed down, but so it's a less of an effort.
Absolutely, and yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I'm happy working on this work group, I think with Scott too, and then we can have Jade involved too, because I know she'd like to be involved with any sort of work group.
And others still want to be either involved or looped in. I know Maureen maintains an interest in this, and others, I don't remember who else.
Yes.
But want to keep others in the loop as we progress.
Yeah, any others who are potentially interested with this work group? I know the only thing is if we had a meeting, if there's multiple people, we need to like notify that accordingly.
I wonder about Nancy Thomas, because when Right Relationship was here, or somebody, that was the first day she visited several months ago.
Yeah.
And I think she's interested in furthering things with the Indigenous contacts or Indigenous education.
Yeah, I can also reach out and see about her involvement there too.
She's got lots of enthusiasm, so.
Yeah. All right. So next we can move on to the ASTI trifold, the ASTI article reprint, Lost Superior update reprint, walking towards Superior History trifold concept. So Maureen and I have worked on and getting these two trifolds printed out. I mean, one about Ted Asti and Asti Park. So Maureen's wanted to kind of continue in that effort and sent out some concepts. So I think, does Maureen want to add some additional details there?
Oh, yes. The trifold for the walking tour of historic Superior would be a self-guided tour with maps, and we hit the highlights using town hall as the central spot. So we know you can go down Cold Creek to Asti, and then down first to Grasso. Those three areas are close The Pioneer Cemetery isn't quite as easy, but we could hit 4 major areas in one trifold. It would be mostly a visual project, but we do need some textual background.
Okay, excellent. I told Maureen in an email too, because she sent out a number of different concepts for other additional trifolds, the walking tour as well. And I said, like, personally, just like my bandwidth is very difficult at the time being. And I'd like to see, before getting too far ahead with some other trifolds, just to kind of see what kind of the reception is with the other 2 trifolds, the ASCII article that we have from the general public, because I also was mindful of printing as well and trying to reduce like the number of printed copies that we have on the premises, just as part of like Superior's environmental initiatives too.
I mean, if I could jump in, I remember, we did talk about a while back about having like a binder or a book with QR codes that link to these written documents. I mean, a physical, like a couple, but really more of the QR version that would lead over to the website, because these things are not on the website right now, but they could be for sure. And then I think the walking tour, things like it would fit right in with that, like you could flip and QR code for history of ASCII, here's a QR code for this, wanna do a walking tour, here's a QR code for
Well,
that.
and there's Harry, you told me about an app that does walking tours, and you basically can load your,
Well, have
your stuff.
visitors ask for the ASCII information when they're at the museum?
Do
I need feedback on that, maybe the visitors want to know more.
Not so far.
no, there's been minimal interest that on my times. I don't know if others have had it.
They're looking at what's physically there,
Mhm.
and that seems to be the focus.
Focus, yeah.
I wonder, speaking of, let's see, item 10 on the list today, if we have like a Grasso Day, if there will be more inquiries about what's history like that. If you do an ASCII Day at the ASCII Museum someday around mining, if similar would happen.
Okay,
I mean, I love that she's compiling all of this information and working with you, Dalton, it just seems like maybe a different
I
vehicle, a
different
Yeah.
medium for it, yeah.
instead of, I mean, we've kind of talked about just being more sustainable, but I'm also sort of thinking of ways to just get it out there, and I mean, I think that QR code plaque things will help.
yeah,
And I think having correlating QR codes available in the museum and then all kind of correlating over to the website or something, but.
But eventually build a program,
Yeah,
programming, yes. that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
yeah. And I think, I mean, all the information in these is excellent to have. I
Mhm.
just don't know how many
it's the
people.
media for making it consumable.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think for the masses, right, serve the many and the most, the QR code, the website, the town Instagram site is very good.
Mhm.
You know, their promotion of things.
Yeah. And we can have still, I mean, we do have still a couple of physical printed
Mhm.
copies available on site, but I don't personally think we need like a stack of 50.
I think, I mean, do you mind sort of conveying some of this to Maureen, like that everybody loves the idea? It's really the context and
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
media.
We need consumable media.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
We're having even a hard time getting people interested in our published book on site right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
much less more
Mhm.
things, yeah. But I like the idea if somebody inquires, they can be sent to a website or sent
Mhm.
something quick.
Yeah, but just like turning the book into a digital copy to make things more
Yeah,
accessible, how we
need
can
book.
get things out there better, more consumable for how people want it.
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, are we able to upload those online? Cause I have PDFs for them.
Yeah.
I think, I can certainly create a section.
Okay. Mhm.
Like right now, we have a video and links, like,
Yeah.
and like, but yeah, let me work with comms, cause I think I wanna make sure it's obvious and
Mhm.
like people can find it and it
Yeah.
makes sense for it to be wherever it is that we put it.
When we provide Oski museums, like here's a museum, here's where you find museums, et cetera, can we have a link right there as part of that, and you have museum?
I have to ask, because like right now, they have kind of links and documents sort of separated from the, the information and photos that are on the website, and I think that is partially an ADA thing, but I'm not
By the
positive,
way,
so let me
compliance.
ask.
There we go.
Okay.
Here's my comment. Um. Having been a publisher myself, so. I don't think she really understands how a QR code works, and so we need to sample her.
Okay.
And it can be, here's what happens when somebody does the code, and it can be a piece of her information.
Okay.
It's a way to sample it, because it is quicker. And,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are using it now. We're all at the grocery store. Well, she can't even use it at the grocery store.
Yeah.
So,
I can walk through it in a follow-up email to Maureen. I can kind of walk through like
because it's
the steps with the QR code and. Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, and I'll try to find like a good example for this as well in the time being.
And I think, yeah, like explaining like how it pops up.
Yeah.
Is it gonna pop up as like just a written page, or is it gonna pop up as like a PDF?
Mhm.
Because I also know that sometimes she's not able to access a PDF.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
where's it gonna go?
Mhm.
So maybe that example.
Okay. I mean, I can also do, I'm sure there's some explicitly like ADA QR codes that you can find online that can link to just a specific article, and I can use that as like an example for how this kind of walks through.
But the PDF right now is not exactly 508 compliant either, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't explain the image captions and things adequately or
Yeah.
parsons.
But I think our website does, like, just a web page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
The other thing just to mention is that in an email with Maureen, I did mention that if the industrial mine is even mentioned as part of the tour, we have to be careful because we really shouldn't be leading
Yeah,
people
leading
to just
people out to the
openly
open
walk
space.
out
Yeah.
to the mine area because it's Boulder County open space. And so we have to be very careful with that.
Plus there's, potential hazards out there.
Mhm.
Off trail.
Well, yeah, and until the day comes where we have the official trail and the signage, that's gonna be different, but right now, we really can't be
Yeah.
sending people out there.
Yeah, I thought that as well. Okay, yeah, but I'll follow up with Maureen with all this and kind of a guide through with the QR codes as well.
Yeah, if you want to send some to me too. I can
Yeah.
decide.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, his email.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, so next item 10, September Open Museum Grasso Day with focus on agriculture.
That was discussed last month. and-
No, it wasn't discussed, because we had to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was my idea just to sort of make a focus on Grasso Day, so we can have maybe a few more docents there, a fancy term. And have the buildings open and sort of do a focus, but,
I would like to stand outside.
and Scott wants to be outside,
Doing the building tour.
yeah.
Barry
so-
would ask you to be open.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think so.
We still need to finish planning the cemetery.
Yeah, and that's coming up too on September 6th. But we can like just say, yeah, so how we
I-
promote kind of
Cause I
Grasso Day.
sort of forgotten, it totally dropped off my mind from the last month. I don't know, what are some ideas? And maybe it's crazy, maybe we just need to have it as normal and just,
Keep
Maybe.
thinking on it.
but do have the buildings open, and you said you were gonna do an update.
So if the buildings are open, I'm going back to the wasps and our reactions to the wasps. Do you do the first Saturday of October? Because second grade field trips are sandwiching it when we know that's taken care
Yeah, maybe, right, maybe maybe right
of. These
after
wasps, they're gone.
October 4th. Maybe October 4th.
Mhm.
That is a really busy time, because we'll have school field trips, and then we head into the fall program.
But we're still going to have a museum opening
Oh.
that day, so we may as well just.
Yeah, we can just like advertise it.
When is the chili test?
September
September
6th.
Okay,
What's early?
I'm gonna recommend Grafsa Day, October 4th.
I mean, I don't. I'm,
That works for me.
okay,
But normal museum opening day,
yeah,
promote, maybe we make sure that maybe we suggest something about. I mean, even though we would open up the buildings anyway, if people wanted to see them, maybe we just put it in our advertising for that museum opening. Hey, we're gonna have the buildings open and talk about these, and I think me and Jill are more ready to talk about the Grasso history.
Come get your photo taken in the jail.
Right.
Not agriculture,
Oh,
like, come get your boat shop.
I think people-
Stand in line for that.
Yeah.
That's all the.
Yeah.
What is that age?
Grasso/jail day.
We have more site history in mind now after the nomination stuff.
Actually, it's not a bad idea.
I know.
Yeah,
It's not a bad idea.
no, that'd be good.
Come get your mugshot taken.
So we're thinking,
October 4th.
so, next month, can we, cause only if he wants some additional information to come through comms, I'll need like a bulleted list of some
Right.
sort, just of what you wanted to say.
So maybe by next month, we have like that bulleted list.
And I am available on the fourth, not on the sixth.
You can talk about the CD history.
The seedy side of Superior.
Right, exactly.
You still see that as a spring talk at some point. Legends and lore. The seedy side of Superior.
It's gonna rain out there.
It is, it's gonna snow. We're gonna have our first.
First
beach
snow.
that day.
Yeah.
We're gonna be out there in our full length down coats and.
All right, so I think we got everything covered there. We can move on to upcoming events. So September 6th, Open Museum Days, same times as normal. And then on top of that, also the cemetery being open from 11 to 1. So I'm happy to either location, or if I want to go up to the cemetery, I can just walk there.
What's Nancy gonna help us with that?
She said she'd love to be a docent on that day. I didn't bring up the cemetery specifically. But yeah, she's available to help with that day too.
I'm not that familiar with cemetery stuff, so I'm not going to volunteer to be up there.
Okay.
Do you wanna do the cemetery, why?
Yeah, I could. Now is,
Do you want
It depends how hot it is. I'm not going up in there.
well, he didn't say you, he said me.
I know, but you have to get up there.
Oh, well, I can't get up.
All that, all right.
With all that construction going on up there, is that gonna have a easy access to get in?
There's an awful lot going on in that street.
There's a lot going on, and I guess that's why I wanted to touch base with you. So I've been in conversation with comms to sort of let them know that this would be an added component to promoting the museum being open, number one. But I also want them to understand that this is weather permitting. This is, not gonna happen in the middle of winter when it's freezing. This is sort of, it's an opportunity, but so they have to kind of put their thinking caps on how they're gonna promote that, because it's a Saturday. If we say it's happening every Saturday on Open Museum Day, but then we have to cancel, there's no way to get that information out, so we have to. I have to work with comms to craft the language so that there's flexibility around what may or may not happen with that, number one. And then number two, not only do I need to drive up there, but I need to check with Leslie and everybody to kind of see, like, is it gonna be suitable for people to be going there on September sixth with the
I think
construction?
it's too early. I think we need to maybe postpone that a month or two.
Let me check to see, because they,
You know,
It was-
Wally and I looked up there yesterday and
it was.
I didn't
on
even
that.
wanna drive up there because
Yeah.
it was stuff everywhere.
Hmm.
And
But
I still don't know where the parking is
That's,
happening.
that's the big
Yeah.
question that we want to include in comms. And if we don't know the answer, we should.
Yeah, otherwise it'd have to be up there along the cul-de-sac, and sometimes there's a bunch of stuff sitting in there, and that's not good either, so.
That's the way you see it.
That's actually where they
Yeah,
were
there's a
sitting
decent amount.
yesterday.
Well, yeah,
We might have to wait till spring, and that,
Maybe so.
and that as a suggestion, I think might be a better idea, but.
or October,
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to do one in October,
Of
potentially,
course, if we're having Grasso Day,
right?
I sort of-
yeah.
oh, maybe we're spreading ourselves pretty
well,
thin.
we can. Yeah. You know, it doesn't have to be October 4th for Grasso Day, right?
That could be pushed and just sort of launch at least one cemetery
I kind of
open
like
day,
the cemetery in October,
and then.
Well,
Grasso Day,
Well, if we
harvest
wanted
removal
to,
type thing.
that very first Saturday is November first.
Uh-huh,
So it is the day
again,
right after.
yeah,
That would be a
The
good.
Day of the Dead.
the day of the
Yeah.
dead, yeah, that would be a good
that would
cemetery
be a good
day,
Cemetery day, but it always was on.
Halloween.
Yeah,
We could put Halloween decorations up in there.
I guess the reason why, I mean, because there's so much going on and more people are living and residing in that area, there's curiosity about the cemetery, and I think it would be really great if something goes out that, hey, the historic commission is gonna have the cemetery open, you know, and somehow we craft the language, that's, you know, not all the time.
Says we do this 3 times a year, weather permitting. Type of thing.
Something, yeah.
October,
Let's shoot for November. 1st.
April, and, you know, whatever day,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's shoot for November 1st, if we think the construction's actually gonna be cleared up by then.
yeah, I mean, hard to say, it was supposed to be wrapped up a long time ago there, but we can definitely look for that, and I do like that date, like.
That is,
Yeah.
that is a fortuitous date.
And,
Yeah.
So not September sixth,
November 1st.
October 4th for Grasso Day,
Yeah.
November 1st for
Yeah,
Cemetery
Yeah.
Day.
Okay.
People will be dying to get in there.
That's the email.
It is cool.
You'll be dying to
I
get.
gotta get back to work, I'll see you later.
So now another thing is, if we have some people come up and wanna get into that, and they can't actually, because of disabilities or whatever, walk back in there, are we gonna have some way we can get them back in there?
I mean, I don't know, like. As far as when all the construction's done,
Well, I mean, you know, if you got somebody in a wheelchair and or a walker or whatever, and they would like to get in there and look at that, are we gonna have any way of, I don't know, one of their carts or something to get them back up in there?
I'm not sure. I mean, I do know that of those parking spots that are up closer, there is one handicap spot.
Yeah, but
And
that's still quite a ways away from down there.
It's not as bad, but yes, it's a little bit of a hill, and that I don't know. I mean, I don't think the town
could-
provides services of that nature.
We could
Well,
ask,
how we're
we
gonna
could just
handle it.
ask Liam to be there with one of the quads or something.
Yeah,
Just get in the hand truck and we can start.
I was also wondering if we have this much of kind of a heads up, could we notify them we're interested in having this, can you please just clear out this area for just a couple of hours on this date?
Yeah. That said too, I am gonna work with comms to get a new sign put out on the front gate.
Mhm.
That it just talks about the possibility of, you know. You can access it by appointment, you know, that's something where I would go, and then if you need assistance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, maybe something like
Yeah,
that could be
and
arranged.
even, you know, opening hours, if you, due to ongoing construction, however they work, right, access
Mhm.
may be impeded for some guests, and if you need special accommodations, please reach out to us to work with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of what I was getting.
Yeah,
Okay.
is
Something,
acknowledge
Mhm.
and have, because, you know, if someone needed help getting back there, yeah, who do you get, but you can't do it on a general open day when it's two
Yeah.
volunteers. But if you scheduled us, it might be able to, what can we do?
mhm.
Because you know what the need is, so.
Yeah.
And they can't drive the car like in there, so they need some special assistance, they have to come up with something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, they can't.
I,
but then-
I would caravan them up there.
Yeah.
I'd put my flashers on and say, drive right up. I'm not kidding, I would, if that helped, you
I mean,
know.
I have a very tiny car, so I can probably zip on up.
Yeah, you can do the Tokyo drift in.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, but I think that's a good plan, scheduling for November 1st, communicating accordingly. That there could be some potential impediments, based on
And weather.
level of construction, yeah,
Yeah.
weather permitted, of course, but I like that too, and that gives us a bit of a leeway too, and then some breathing room with Grasso Day.
Well, and I really like your idea, Jill, of just like select, you know, go with this November one, and then we go into winter, but that'd give the group time to figure out
Yeah, how did it work?
other
Yeah.
dates,
Mhm.
so that way it's a little more predictable and less, you know, weather permitting
Mhm.
still, but these are the 3 dates or 4 dates or whatever
Mhm.
in the year
Yeah.
that we're gonna open the summer, you know, maybe it's quarterly
Mhm.
Yeah.
or something
Okay,
like that, you know.
perfect,
And then that frees you up so that you don't have to go out
Yeah.
there every single
yeah, okay.
program.
Excellent. And then the next upcoming event is September 12th work session. Continuing to work away, I can, in an email with Nancy, just reach out, see if she wants to stop by as well during that date.
I won't be there, I'll be out of town.
I can't be there either that day, I'm gonna come in.
I'm planning to be there, so.
Okay. Do you think if multiple people won't be able to be there, it'd be better if Nancy doesn't come, or do you think that'd be helpful?
I mean, I'm happy to, depending on where we're at with catalog it, I may be boxing and things for better storage or something,
Okay.
so. I'd say roll with it.
Okay,
If she's available and makes it, we will.
Who said they're not available? I missed that.
Susan
can't
and
make it.
Mary,
And Mary.
yeah. But you know, what's the saying, many hands make light work,
yeah, okay.
so
Perfect.
I know you don't go.
I am happy
I
to
might not,
go with that.
Okay,
and they don't know we met. Second. Eye surgeries.
Yeah, we may not be available, depending what she said on her second eye surgery.
okay,
Let me know
yeah,
as it gets closer if you decide to cancel it, since it's publicly noticed.
okay, yeah. All right, so then staff updates.
Okay, starting with the barn. The wasps, I checked on the last work session, there wasn't any there. But I sprayed anyway, just again.
Just because.
And,
Seems like
and,
it smells.
the wasp
More
trap
than
was
she likes wasps.
empty. Because I think the prior spraying really did the job. That said, there is rat or bunny, some sort of matter everywhere. Yeah, and so I'm working with, Liam, who's now facilities, he's not on parks anymore, just so you all know. He took Sean's position. So I'm working with him because I think townwide, the exterminators, the bait traps for critters no longer are lethal. They're more in the sterilization category so that they don't multiply. And that's because the more lethal bait traps, if they consumed and were out and about and perish, then other things were eating, wildlife, so that was becoming a really bad problem. For us, the problem is that critters are sort of still they're still hanging out in the barn. So, cause when I went on Friday to check on the wasps, I was shocked at the amount of rat or bunny poop. I'm not really sure what it is. So I left quickly because it was enough that that's not good. So the exterminator is now going to come monthly to do regular cleanings. Because I can't see that we can control the population right now.
No,
By a creek, there's gonna be constant
Yeah.
feed of new rodents.
Yeah, so we just have to do the best we can. So right now, I'm asking that you do not enter the barn. The homestead house seems to be fine. The barn, the best I can do is I'm trying to schedule that as close to your open days as possible so that I know it's clean, so that you can open the barn. So, but as of right now, it's not clean. So I've asked that he come the week leading up to your open day on a monthly basis. And then I'll just keep checking it and keep reporting back.
Right.
Okay, so there's that. The minor memorial. So even though we kind of got the green light from council at your dinner to go ahead and pursue working with the artist to start design work, and we did the email communication, and that's all been compiled. We technically need formal approval, so that's been scheduled for their September 9th meeting. Just to give it the absolute yes, go forward,
Do we
pursue
need a
that.
presence at that meeting?
No. So Larry or Dalton, just as co-chairs, one or both can be there. It's probably gonna be on the consent agenda, so I think attending.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll be traveling on that date.
So just even attending by Zoom, Larry, is more than fine, because I think it's just kind of a technicality. But I have the agreements, all the contracts, I have everything ready to go, so that as soon as we have that consent, everything gets going. Okay, so that's good to go. The privy painting, I did hear from Carol Affleck, and she's still sort of assisting with getting, the vendor Grassroots, who was gonna help do that work. And he's pretty tied up with a couple of really big projects, and he was predicting sometime in September for the work to our privy. Okay, and I'll just keep you posted on that. And then I have a couple other items. Mary had asked or inquired about the possibility of a sink getting installed in the basement of Asti. And as you recall, that was struck from the list when the building was under construction because of costs. But I did talk to Leslie about it, and she has asked that we just get bids to see what the cost would be to install a small utility or small hand sink of some sort, since the plumbing is below, but we have to look at code to see if it would have to be outside of that utility room, or could it be inside, those things, and then what the cost is, and if we can even afford that this year or would need to look into next. But it is recognized that, going up and down, back and forth.
And you're gonna get bids for both inside the utility room and outside it?
I need to check on code. I'm not sure if we can put a sink in that utility closet. So if it has to come out, I understand that there's collection issues with water, so I think we have to keep all of that in mind. If we can't put it in the closet, then I think you all need to decide if you want to go forth. Okay, if that makes sense, because you know, it's a catch 22, no matter how you
I'm
shape
not
it.
sure where to
It's
put it.
the
Yeah, we
Right.
can't go in there,
Is that what-
There is a corner.
because we need the space as much as we can.
But
Yeah.
even a small, you know, small house,
Really?
they really don't take much room, so it's a matter of the plumbing and the code.
The plumbing and whether or not water, a sink like
Well, what
something
about a
could be
deep- what about a
in
deep
that
rock
room,
sink?
I'm not sure, I don't know.
Tuck in the back of your head, I'm gonna call it a deep rock sink. They have little basins, but you take the deep rock, you know, water dispensers, and they just tip them up in that.
And I've seen those, it's the cleaning out and
Yeah.
who's gonna who's
Yeah,
gonna
it
make
basically goes in, and there's a small receptacle like you enter from a camper.
And they have them at outdoor events and stuff like
Oh,
that,
okay.
Yeah.
but it's the maintenance of it.
Yeah.
It's the replacement of the water and up and down the stairs and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Wouldn't
so,
be heated water either.
No.
Probably cleaner than our dusty hands, and we like those.
okay, let's talk about the key to that giant
Infamous
Yeah.
key.
the giant, display case, so it's gone missing again, the replacement has gone missing. And I just don't know if anybody has seen it,
Which display case are we talking?
the one with the skeleton key with the tassel on it.
That's in the cabinets at Grasso in our little section of the cabinet in front of the bathroom. It's in little plastic cases all over there.
It used to be in a drawer,
It was in the kitchen drawer because I put it there.
And I moved it to the cabinet across
Okay.
from the bathroom because we had stuff spread out too far and the town staff was encroaching more and more on our stuff. So I consolidated it all to that one cabinet space. When me and Larry were working over there, I put all the keys on the second shelf up right in front of the.
so the
plastic cabinet.
staff is using the sink in the museum.
No, we just had random stuff in there.
Oh.
But they were encroaching on our cabinet space, so I consolidated everything into one cabinet.
Okay.
So thank you, it's probably there, so it's in,
In fact, the tassel was over the edge, so it was visible for a while.
So the tassel's no longer visible. Three of us went through it on
It's
Yeah.
it's in the cabinets across from the bathroom door.
far left.
Far left, second shelf up.
okay, so this is good.
I thought we dug through that.
We
whole
dug
thing.
through that,
We'll
yeah.
have to do it again.
We'll have to. 'cause
Well,
Mary-
anyway, so there's an interesting twist
Okay.
to the story.
Okay,
So before today, I contacted the company that I had gotten the said replacement, right? And I said, I would like to buy 2 more, because I thought, I'm just gonna stock up on these keys. Well, it turns out, you know, they're not cheap, they're like $30 a key or something like that. But I thought, we just need to do it to make sure we have backup. And they wrote me back and they said, we're gonna send you these 2 keys as our gift
Oh.
to you because they're
Very sweet.
closing.
Oh.
Oh, well, we will take them.
So we may have
We
3
will not
keys.
lose anything now.
Yeah,
So we're saying we're gonna pour those giant key rings on the clothes.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, but they lost the key.
Yeah,
That's
so
very
I
nice.
thought, wow, okay, so there's that,
Interesting.
yeah,
I'll
So-
send them.
Scott, did that little black toolkit get put in that area too?
didn't see it.
Again, I don't remember.
Yeah, 'cause I can't find that. It was just that little one from Target. It's not- not very
Something
big.
inside.
Oh, I-
inside of an
I was
inside of
gonna
a
wonder-
house.
My parents, Russian doll syndrome, like my parents, me.
Alright, so maybe we had talked about, you know, maybe we have they have those key lock boxes, maybe we can do a lockbox or something at Asti or,
We already have another lockbox in that cabinet.
oh,
It's
okay,
not being used.
oh, okay.
So
Why
we said
we don't-
we need to have it locked at all.
At
because
all.
The other one doesn't have a lock on it.
That's what I'm wondering.
Just say
But so
we're
if I
not-
remember right, it's either in or out and the door won't shut. If it's-
Oh, so we have to like.
Does the door shut? Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, we could leave the key in it.
In it, yeah, that's where leave a key
Yeah, I
in
just
it.
worry about little, sometimes little
Well,
kids that
Yeah.
it's so pretty and
Yeah.
neat that
Little
it.
bit school.
But that's where I was going when we said a big key ring, something obnoxious. Right?
Either way.
That's child repellent still,
Yeah.
big obnoxious, but kids don't wanna grab it, it's like
Yeah.
the tax dollars.
Y'all do what you want, I'm gonna have 2 keys in my possession.
Oh, right.
Good idea.
One under your desk so that it never goes away.
Yeah,
Are we open to selling the Lost Superior books at Grass Oaks? I can't find any copies. I don't know if we decided not to or.
I don't think we've talked about it.
'Cause,
we talked about it, when we were overlapping at the opening,
Oh,
so you
yes.
weren't there.
uh-huh. Because it seems like if
We
we
should.
have the opportunity,
Yeah.
we should have a few
Yeah.
copies there too.
So we're hitting the point where it's hard to put some of this stuff out. So what I'm wondering is we have that display screen hiding the kitchen sink. But at some point, we may need the counter space of the kitchen sink for things like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
and put the display screen away for now.
Mhm.
Cause it takes up a lot of room and we've got stuff sitting on top of displays to do that. And I think we add books to it, we kind of add a space.
And we don't have to have the books out for display. I mean, if people are
Yeah.
interested. So the books can be on the kitchen, behind the screen.
Yeah.
And
And you could just have a desk copy
Yeah.
for people to look at if they want to look before they buy.
yeah, which is the top copy. And
Okay, I don't have any other.
Oh, I have another. Oh, and I was on my phone, not to be rude. And I remembered it's late August. The Doherty Museum in Longmont always has the last weekend of August, where they bring in the tractors and have the tractor pulls and have everything working
Speed
like
them up.
our machines, yeah. So I was checking that, yes, it is gonna go on, and it looks like it is. They're also open every Saturday all summer or something like that, because it's part of Boulder County properties now. But anyway, it's a really neat event, if you've never been or even if you wanna go again. So it's the 29th through the 31st. All day, and they have, all the machines running, and it's just sort of a step back into yesteryear for agricultural stuff.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
You had your
What
bib
day?
overalls on. and everything,
August
right?
29th.
I could do that.
Yeah.
They gave us our big pressure.
Yeah,
Yes, they did.
So, anyway, that's what I was doing on my phone, that wasn't really neat.
That's the door.
Yeah, and as you go,
DAU.
DAU.
DOU.
This is DAU? Okay.
GH.
Yeah, as you head on 287 north to Longmont, just before you get into Longmont, there's this great big barn, that's it.
Okay.
And they have, and it's antique car, and they've got stagecoach, and it's an amazing museum inside as well.
certain land horses carriages.
Yes, yes, horses carriage.
Oh, there's DO.
Was there any other items?
Any others?
Yeah,
No.
all right, seeing none, I think we're in a good position then to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I so move.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mary's encouraging.
Are we good?
Yep, seeing none.
I
are adjourned.
already know.
I can't even say the words. Mary's getting into your territory.